Hello students, myself Anna Sahib Gaurane, Rahat Shikshan Sanstha's RBNB College Srirampur. I am junior college teacher in physics. Now we study the physics chapter electromagnetic induction, and in that chapter we study the article eddy current. You know electromagnetic induction. You also know the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, and you also know the Lenz's law. When a conducting coil is moved in a magnetic field, the magnetic flux associated with the coil changes, and due to that change in magnetic flux, EMF is induced in the coil, current is induced in the coil. Now we see what happens if the conducting plate is moved in a magnetic field. Suppose this crosses represents magnetic field and which is perpendicular to this plane. This crosses indicates magnetic field is perpendicular and it is directed inward. We know it is perpendicular but inward. If conducting plate is moved in this magnetic field, this is a plate, not a coil. Suppose this is a conducting metal plate. This plate is placed in a magnetic field. This dotted portion represents the region of magnetic field. Magnetic field is perpendicular but directed inward. This is a conductor plate. And if it is moved in a magnetic field, then circulating current are induced in the plate. When it is moved in a magnetic field, circulating currents are induced in a plate and it is called as eddy current loop. Eddy current loop. And these circulating currents induced in this metal plate, when it is moved in a magnetic field, it's called as eddy current. These currents are called as eddy currents. So definition of eddy current is circulating currents induced in a metal block or metal plate when it is placed in changing magnetic field or moved in a magnetic field, it's called as eddy current. Either the conductor is moved, magnetic field is steady, or conductor is steady, magnetic field is changing, then and then only these circulating currents are induced, and such currents are eddy currents. These currents were first detected by the scientist Foucault, hence they are also called as Foucault's current. These are like eddies or whirlpools in water, hence they are the eddy currents. These currents are responsible for transfer of or conversion of mechanical energy to heat energy. Mechanical energy to heat energy. Because when it is moved, that energy is a mechanical energy. Currents are induced. Due to this induced current, heat is produced. So it is responsible for conversion of mechanical energy to heat energy. We see another example of this eddy current. Suppose a conducting plate is pivoted or fixed at a certain point. This is conducting plate. it is pivoted here or it is fixed here, and this conducting plate is moved in a magnetic field like a pendulum, or it oscillates. Again, this magnetic field is perpendicular, but it is directed inward. The currents are also induced here if it moves in a magnetic field. This is the conducting plate. If it oscillates like pendulum in this magnetic field, the magnetic flux or field associated with this conductor changes. When it enters the field or leaves the field, the currents are induced, and due to this induced current, mechanical energy is converted into heat as it oscillates in the magnetic field. When it enters or leaves the field, mechanical energy is converted into heat, and this conducting plate becomes warm. As induced current is produced there, it becomes warm. Now if we have to reduce this effect of eddy currents, suppose this is the plate, it is fixed, and this plate oscillates in magnetic field, eddy currents are induced in it, we know. If we have to reduce the effect of these eddy currents, some slots are made to this plate like this. These are the slots. These are the slots. This middle portion is a slot, and due to this slot, the effect of eddy current is reduced. We can reduce the eddy currents in a metal by making slots. As these circles or these loops, see here, they covers a less path if slots are there, and by making the slots in metal plate, the effect of eddy current can be reduced. There are some applications of these eddy currents. They are used in deadbeat galvanometer. It is also used in induction furnace to melt the metal, because mechanical energy is converted into heat. If the current produced is very large, it can even melt the metal. It is used in speedometer, and this eddy current are also used in electric brakes. So this is about the eddy current. Now we see the next important article, that is self-inductance. This article is also very important in this chapter, self-inductance or self-inductor. Self-inductance. To study this self-inductance, what is meant by the self-inductance? Consider the diagram. Suppose here there is a rheostat. Used to change the current. Here there is a battery. This is a battery. Then key. And it is connected to a conducting coil. It is connected to a conducting coil. Suppose this is a conducting coil. This coil is a conducting coil. When key is closed, the current flows through this coil. This is the direction of the current. When key is closed, rheostat, used to change the current, increase or decrease the current, and this is the coil. To understand the concept of self-inductance, see this circuit diagram. It shows the current changing in the coil. When key is closed, current passes through the coil. We can increase or decrease the current by using the rheostat, and this is the conducting coil. When current in the coil increases, magnetic field increases. When I increases, magnetic induction or magnetic field increases. As magnetic field increases, the magnetic flux phi also increases. EMF is induced in the coil. EMF is induced. This induced EMF, due to this induced EMF, current is induced in the coil, and this induced current by Lenz's law, this induced current in the coil by Lenz's law, it opposes the primary current in the circuit. The induced current in this coil opposes this primary current. So induced current opposes the primary current. So what is the self-inductance? Production of induced EMF in a circuit or coil itself on account of change in current in it, or production of induced EMF in the circuit due to changes of current in the same coil, is called as phenomenon of self-inductance. Again see, the production of induced EMF in a circuit due to changes of current in the same circuit is called as self-inductance. That is the self-inductance. EMF induced in the same coil due to the changes of current in the same coil, hence it is called as self-inductance. Suppose at any instant t, if I is the current flowing through this circuit and phi is the flux linked with the circuit, then this flux phi is directly proportional to that current at any time t, or this flux phi is equal to Li. This L is a constant and it is called as self-inductance of the coil. Flux phi is directly proportional to the current. Flux phi is equal to constant into current. Constant we denote it by L. It is the self-inductance, or it is also called as coefficient of self-induction. Coefficient of self-induction of coil. And hence this L is phi upon I. We write this coefficient of self-induction as phi upon I. It is the coefficient of self-induction. Now in this self-induction, if this is for the one turn of the coil, if coil has n turns, this phi is the flux for the one turn. If such n turns of coil are there, then for n turns we write it as n into phi. For n turns we write it as n phi due to the magnetic field, so n phi b directly proportional to I, or this n into phi b is equal to L into I, and hence again this L is N into phi b upon I. One main thing is here, this L does not depend on these factors. As we know, in case of resistance, R is V upon I. The resistance does not depend on the V and I, but it depends on the material, length, area of cross section. Similarly, this L does not depend on these factors, but it depends on number of turns of the coil, shape of the coil, area of the coil, that is, it depends on geometrical properties and material properties of the coil. It depends on geometrical properties or material properties of the coil. Now, as we know, E is equal to minus d phi upon dt by the Lenz's law. D phi upon dt. We find the unit of self inductance, and as we know, phi is equal to Li. So by considering the magnitude, this E is d upon dt of Li. Considering the magnitude, we get EMF as d upon dt of Li, and hence this E is equal to L di upon dt. By Lenz's law, this is the formula. We also know phi is equal to Li. Simply substitute here by considering its magnitude alone. We get E is equal to L di upon dt, and hence this L is equal to E upon di upon dt, rate of change of current. So unit of this self inductance is, from this formula, the unit of self inductance is unit of L, unit of EMF we know volt, unit of current ampere per second, that is the time, or we write this unit as volt second upon ampere. Yes, our unit of the self inductance is volt second upon ampere, but we know volt upon ampere is ohm. We write this unit also as ohm into second or ohm second. This unit, as it is volt second upon ampere or ohm second, it is also called as Henry. While writing the full name, use small letter Henry. Unit of the self inductance is Henry, denoted by H. So see, these are the different units: volt second per ampere, ohm second, or it is Henry. Similarly, we can find the dimensions of this self inductance. Dimensions of self inductance are very simple. We know unit of this potential difference V, it is nothing but work upon charge. Again, this current means I upon time. V, work upon charge. Ampere means current upon time. So work into time upon Qi. But we also know Q is IT. Charge is I into T. So W into T upon IT into I. This TT get cancelled. dimensions are same as dimensions of work upon this I square, I into I. But we know dimensions of work are M1, L2, T minus 2. And dimensions of current I2 or A2? I2. We can write dimensions of current as A2 also. So these dimensions are, dimensions of self-inductance are M1, M power 1, L2, T raised to minus 2, I raised to minus 2. These dimensions are also very simple. These are the dimensions of self-inductance by using this formula. Again, that V is W upon Q, and simply solve it. Dimensions of work we know, dimensions of current I2, and lastly we get the dimensions of that self-inductance. Now here we know the unit of this self-inductance. We know dimensions of this self-inductance. It is the property of the material. We define this self-inductance in different ways. See here the dimensions, definitions of self-inductance. See, first point, we can define this self-inductance in different ways. As phi is directly proportional to I, phi is equal to Li. Therefore, this L is phi upon I. Self-inductance is phi upon I. It is the ratio of magnetic flux to the current flowing through it. It is the ratio of magnetic flux to the current. Or we can say like this, the magnetic flux produced per unit current in the circuit, the magnetic flux produced per unit current in the circuit is called as self-inductance. This is the simple definition. Magnetic flux produced per unit current in the circuit is the self-inductance. We can define it also by the another way. By 2-3 ways we can define this self-inductance. As we know, L is equal to E upon di upon dt. E upon di upon dt. By using this formula, we can write its second definition. Induced EMF produced around the circuit. Induced EMF produced around the circuit per unit rate of change of current in it. Induced EMF produced around the circuit per unit rate of change of current in it is called as self-inductance of the circuit. This L is equal to E if this di upon dt is 1. If this is unit, then this self-inductance is EMF. So it is the induced EMF produced around the circuit per unit rate of change of current in the circuit is called as self-inductance. This is the second definition of this self-inductance. We can also define this self-inductance in another way. Third way, we can define the self-inductance. As we know, the current in the circuit increases. In this circuit, as the current increases, EMF is induced in this coil, and this induced EMF is opposite, or it opposes this current, or this induced current opposes this primary current by the Lenz's law, and hence work must be done to establish the magnetic flux associated with steady current I0. as this induced EMF or induced current opposes this current which is responsible for its production. Hence work must be done to establish the magnetic flux associated with steady current I0. Associated with the steady current I0. So work done, this work done in time dt is given by dW is equal to EI dt. The work done dW is EI dt. We know power is dW upon dt. Power. This P is also EI. So this EI is dW upon dt. And from this formula, the work done dW is EI dt. But by Lenz's law, we know this E is minus L di upon dt. So dW is minus L di upon dt into I dt. dt get cancelled and we get minus L I di minus L I di. This is the small work done. The total work done is addition of such small works, and that total work done we can obtain by using the integration of this dW. So W is integration of such small works, but for such small works the current increases from 0 to steady current I0. So it is integration from 0 to I0. I0 is the steady current dW. But this dW is minus Li di. This dW is minus Li di. So this work done is 0 to I0 minus Li di. We solve this. Simple mathematics. W is minus L integration 0 to I0. I0 is the steady current. I di. And we know integration I di is I square upon 2. That integration is I square upon 2. Hence this work done is minus L 0 to I0. Sorry, I square upon 2. That is I square upon 2. This integration is I square upon 2 from 0 to I. 0 to I0. So this is nothing but minus L or 1/2 L. Write it as minus 1/2 into L I square 0 to I0. Substitute first upper limit, that is I0, and then lower limit. So it is minus 1/2 L I0 square minus 0. That is the work, and hence this work is minus 1/2 L I0 square. This is the total work, that is minus half L into I0. If we consider the magnitude of this work, we ignore the negative sign and we write this work as 1/2 L I0 square. 1/2 L into I0 square. And if we again consider, if steady current is 1, that is this I0 is 1, we get work as 1/2 L or this inductance L as twice W. This is numerically, because we consider here magnitude. This self inductance is equal to twice the work, and hence we define this self inductance in another way or third way. Self inductance of the circuit is numerically equal to twice the work done in establishing magnetic flux, twice the work done in establishing the magnetic flux associated with unit current in the circuit. It is numerically equal to twice the work done when current in the circuit is unit, that is I0 is equal to 1. Now this work done, that is W is equal to 1/2 L I0 square, is nothing but the electrical energy in the circuit. It is also called as electrical energy in the circuit. So we write this work as electrical energy in the circuit, and that is 1/2 L I0 square. Suppose this is equation 1. This work done is nothing but the electrical energy in the circuit. Now mechanical energy in the form of kinetic energy, we know, that is the kinetic energy. We know it is 1/2 mv square. Suppose this is equation 2. If we compare this equation, this self inductance is analogous to mass. This self inductance is analogous to mass. Mass represents the inertia. We know mass represents the inertia in this mechanics, and this inductance plays the same role as that of the mass. Hence we say that self inductance L in electrical circuit plays the same role, that is, it is the electrical inertia, plays the same role as played by the mass in mechanics. Mass is the inertia in mechanics, self inductance is the inertia here, and this self inductance of electrical circuit represents the electrical inertia. So this is about the self inductance, its unit, dimensions, and we can define the self inductance in these different ways. Okay, today we stop here. Thank you.